Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Duble Mede Shaitan ar-Rahim. This is, can I be heard?
Islam, you can be heard.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Confucius. This is Sheikh Lawrence Youngberg, National Treasurer and Divine Minister out of North Carolina Republic. First, I rise, giving all perfect praise to Allah, to all our ancestors, some we know of, some we don't, and to all our true and divine prophets, just to name a few, Jesus, Muhammed, Buddha, and Confucius. And the last prophet in these days and times.
The time is 1 minute after the hour.
Our illustrious.
To check in, press 1. To start break, press.
Noble Drew Ali, the first, the second, and the third form. I extend my honors to the forerunner for Noble Drew Ali, Marcus Garvey, and the National Grand Sheikh Joe Bradley Bay, to Sheikesses, Deputy Chief, brothers, sisters, parents, and students of the firm, and our Sunday school, all on the call with Islam. Happy Holy Night and happy Holy Day for all the Muslims on the call and all the Muslims all around the world. Welcome to our Friday Holy Night, given by the Moorish Science Temple, the Divine and National Movement of North America, Incorporated, number 13, Moorish American National Republic. As we proceed, we always hope to have reading with our Moorish. Islam. As long as I can be heard. Islam. For those who are able, stand up and face the east. Perpendicular, your arms perpendicular to the floor. 5 fingers on your left hand. 2 fingers on your right. As we say our Moorish American prayer. Islam, Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through the Holy Prophet, through Ali, Ameen. Peace. Islam, reading of our Constitution and bylaws. Reading our Constitution and bylaws, starred crescent moon, the all-seeing eye of Allah, and the hand press of unity. The Moorish Science Temple of America, Divine and Constitution and bylaws. Act 1. The Grand Sheikh and the Chairman of all of the Moorish Science Temple of America is in power to make laws and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Body in the Moorish American Temple of America to Assistant Grand Chief. The Assistant Grand Chief is to assist the Grand Chief in all affairs if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And it is known before the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Act 2. All meetings are to be open and closed promptly, according to the Circle 7 and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest because on a Friday, the first man was formed in flesh, and it was on a Friday when the first man departed out of flesh and ascended into his Father God Allah. For that cause, Friday is the holy day for the Moslems all over the world. Act 3. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. The member is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may be harmful to his brother and sister because Allah is love. Act 4. All members must preserve these holy and divine records, and all members must obey these laws of the government, because by being a Moorish American, you are a part and partial of this government and must live the life accordingly. Act 5. This organization of the Moorish Science Temple of America is not to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws of the Constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and parcel of the said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nation of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Jew Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites, whom inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must properly attend their meetings and become a part and parcel of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of the household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Jew Ali, through his guidance of his Father God Allah. That's the reading of a divine constitution and bylaws. Could I get someone to read the additional laws? Islam? Islam.
Islam, Sheikh.
Oh, okay. I didn't know whether I could be heard or not.
Yeah, you can be heard. This is Brother
Okay.
Mainstream Grade A 44.
Okay. How you doing, Mainstream Great Bay? How you doing, brother?
All is well? All is well with you?
All well with me.
Islam. Happy holy day, holy night. Islam family. This is Brother Mainstream Grade A 44, calling out of Massachusetts Commonwealth. First and foremost, I'd like to rise to my highest heights and give all perfect praise to our Mother, Father, God, Allah, remaining standing, extending those honors to all true and divine prophets, known and unknown, naming, recognizing Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Confucius, until our last prophet in these days and times, our illustrious Hebrew prophet, Nabu Ali, in his first, second, and third form. I'd like to extend those honors to our National Grand Sheikh, Gerald Bratton Bay, to all our national officials in Baltimore, Maryland, to all sheikhs, sheikesses, deputy sheikesses, and to all our Moors on the call. I greet you all in and with Islam. Happy holy day, holy night. I'll be reading the questionnaire and additional laws for the Moorish Americans by Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Act 1. Grand Sheiks and governors and heads of all temples, all businesses, each said temple, must be approved by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali before acted upon by any members, let it be finance, property, or any line of life that will cause the members to sacrifice finance, etc., that will cause the support of any group of members. Any former officer that violates these laws is subject to be removed from his office under heavy restriction, etc., by the Prophet or the Grand Sheikh. Act 2. All members are to attend their adept meetings and their public meetings promptly. If a member is found standing around on their meeting period, shall be fined 50 cents on the first case, and on the second he will be fined $1, which will go on your emergency fund. If member is working, his monthly dues must be paid, and if he has money in the bank, he must subscribe for as much as he is able to the Moorish Uplifting Fund, because it takes finance to uplift a nation. Act 3. It is lawful and divine duty of every good member, if he is able and finance, to aid me in saving the nation. And if he does not, he is an enemy to the cause of uplifting his own people, and justice must catch you. Let it be he or she according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, as I have the power invested in my hands, and I will have to enforce the law in order to save the nation. Act 4. All members, while making a public speech, must not use any assertion against the American flag or speak radical against the church or any member of any organized group, because we are to teach love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Act 5. All members must promptly attend their meetings and send their children to Sunday school, and the teacher must confirm himself to the questionnaire, and let every member exercise his 5 senses who is able to do so, because out from your Sunday school is the guidance of the nation. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they must know that they are a part and parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Drew Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways, The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and a partial of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Drew Allah, through the guidance of his Father God, Allah. Islam, and that concludes the reading of the additional laws for the Moorish Americans. And I return the floor. Islam, peace.
Islam. Thank you for that great read for the mainstream grade A 44. Thank you. At this time, if there are any members or visitors on the call who would like to acknowledge their presence at this time, please press ** and unmute your phone. And you have the floor. Thank you.
Islam.
Islam.
I yield. Islam, go ahead, good brother. I yield to you.
I was saying Islam.
Father, my minister.
Islam.
All is well.
All is well. Thank you.
This is Confucius calling out of Fairmont, West Virginia. I'd like to wish all the Moors on the call, all the Moabites on the call, as well as all the Muslims, all the Muslims. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Islam is peace.
Islam, thank you, Brother Turner Bay. All is well, I hope.
Islam.
Islam.
Islam, Sheikh Young Bay, Divine Minister. All is well.
Islam, Moabites, how are you?
All is well. Thank you.
Islam.
Islam. Sister Carla Green Ill from Massachusetts Commonwealth. Happy holy day, happy holy night to all the Moors on the call and all the Muslims around the world. Shabbat shalom, Islam, and peace.
Thank you, Carla Green Ill, Sister Carla Green Ill. Thank you. Is anyone else on the call?
Islam.
Islam.
Islam is Sheikh Young Bay.
Islam.
All is well.
All is well.
All is well with you and the family?
All is well with me and the family.
Islam. Always good to hear your vibrations.
Islam,
Islam, man. Brother Michael Simpson Ill Jr., calling out of Wayne County, Michigan Republic. Just want to say happy holy day, happy holy night to all the Moors on the call and to all the Muslims around the world. Shabbat shalom. Islam.
Islam. Thank you, Michael Simpson Ill, Brother Michael Simpson Ill. Thank you very much. Islam. Is anyone else on the call?
Islam.
Islam. Islam.
Happy holidays.
Islam.
I need to Allah day to play a baby. I need by people I like to see the agencies to make you Allah. To Allah. And now it's
Islam. 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 How you doing, Sister Anara? Yes, welcome. Welcome.
How you doing?
Oh, I'm all right. I'm all right. Yes. How are you? Good.
Islam and peace.
Islam and peace. Islam. Anywhere else would like to call?
Islam.
Make the business known. Islam.
I yield.
Islam.
Islam.
This is Sister Beatrice Hutnell-Bay calling from the Florida Republic. Happy holy day and night to all the Moors on the call and all the Muslims all over the world. Peace and love. Islam and peace.
Islam. Sister Hutnell-Bay. Islam, thanks for calling in. Islam, is anyone else would like to call in and make your presence known? Islam,
Islam, Sheikh Young Bay.
You know, I think it's your granddaughter, right?
Yeah, she always wants to get on a call. As soon as she hit me on the call, I just let her do it.
Let her do it, Bo. Let her do it. Let her do it.
Trusting all is well with you and the family.
All is well with me and the family.
Indeed, it's always a pleasure to hear your vibrations.
Islam, the same as yours.
This is Brother Cornelius Sanders Bay, calling out of Lake County, Florida Republic. I want to wish all the Moslems all around the world a happy holy day, happy holy night. All the Moors on the call and not on the call. Jumu'ah Mubarak, Shabbat Shalom. Islam and peace.
Islam. Thank you, Brother Sanders Bay. Thanks a lot. Is anyone else would like to make their presence known? Who's on the call?
Islam. This brother Harry Zell, calling from the state of North Carolina, Greensboro. Just like to wish everybody a holy day and a happy holy night. Peace and love.
Peace and love. Thanks, Brother Harrisfield. Thanks a lot. Islam.
Islam, this is Sister Lakeisha Simpson-Ill calling out the Michigan Republic, calling to wish all the Moors a happy holy day. Islam and peace.
Islam. Welcome,
Islam.
Sister Simpson-Ill.
Islam.
Islam.
Islam?
Islam.
Yeah. Islam. It's Brother Kurt Green from North Carolina Republic, wishing all the Moors a happy holy day. Islam, Islam, Islamism.
Islam.
Islam.
Islam, Brother Kurt Bay, thank you. Kurt Green, I'm sorry. Thank you.
Islam.
There are two Islam.
I yield. Islam.
Islam.
It's Brother Patrick Gore-Ill, calling out of South Carolina Republic. I'd like to wish all the Moors on the call happy holy day, happy holy night. Islam and peace.
Islam. Thank you, Brother Patrick Gore-Ill. Thanks a lot. Islam. If anyone else who yields first time, you can speak.
Islam, Brother A.D. Wimbush Bay from Detroit, Michigan. Giving my praises to Allah, Father, Universe, Father, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Give honor to all the Moors out there on this holy day. Pray all is well. Love and peace, peace and love. United of Asia is on.
Islam. Brother, could you repeat your name?
Brother Wimbush Bay.
Wimbush Bay. All right. Thanks a lot, Brother Wimbush Bay.
You're welcome,
Thanks a lot. Thanks for calling in. Islam. Is there anyone else would like to call and make your presence known?
Islam.
Islam.
Islam. This is Sister Culverhouse out of the New York Republic, calling in to say happy holy night
and Shabbat Shalom.
Islam, Sister Akova House. I'm glad you called in. Islam. Islam.
Yeah, can I be heard?
Yes, you can be heard, sister.
Yes, this is Cynthia Culverhouse calling out of New York Republic. Just wanted to say happy holy night, Islam.
Islam, Sister Culverhouse.
Islam.
Islam.
This is Sister Darlene Ill calling out of South Carolina Republic to say happy holy day, happy holy night to all the Moors on the call. Islam.
Islam, Sister Great Eel. Glad you called in. What was that? Islam. Okay. I apologize for that. Islam. Islam. Was anyone else would like to call in, make their presence known?
Islam.
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 Islam. Oh, you. Pardon self. Islam.
Islam.
Islam. Islam, Deputy Sheik. Your Sheik, pardon self.
That's okay, sister.
Islam, this is Sister Shelley Wade Bay calling from the South Carolina Republic. Calling in to say happy holy night to all of the Moors on the call and Muslims around the world. Shabbat Shalom. Islam and peace.
Islam, Sister Shelley Wade Bay. Thanks for calling in. Islam.
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 This is Brother Corey Pittman calling out of the Florida Republic. Just saying happy holy night to everybody. I love everybody on the call. Love the high vibrations from everyone. And peace.
Islam. Was that Brother Corey Gitman?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Thank you, Mo. Thanks for calling in. Is there anyone else who would like to call in and make their presence known?
Islam.
Islam.
Islam. This is Sister Andrea Crane from Texas Republic. Now I'm in New York Republic. Just would like to say happy holy day to everyone. Islam.
Islam, Sister Andrea Crane. Islam, thanks for calling in, sister. Islam, is there anyone else who would like to call in?
Islam Sheikh.
Islam.
We have 30 participants on the call. Islam.
Okay. Is there anyone else who would like to call in and make their presence known?
Islam Sheikh, trusting all is well.
Islam, all is well.
Giving thanks, Sheikh. Brother Cook Bay, Deputy Sheikh, calling the Florida Republic, your family. I'm wishing all the Muslims across the world, east, west, north, and south, a blessed holy day, blessed holy night. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Glad to be here with the family and rejuvenating the soul from the 6 days of toil and labor. Islam.
Islam. Deputy Sheikh Cook Bay. Islam, glad you called in, brother. Islam, is there anyone else who would like to call in and make their presence known? Islam. I would like to have someone read the Shabbat Shalom prayer for us. Is there anyone who volunteer?
Islam, Sheikh.
Islam.
I yield.
Islam. Thank you, brother. Islam. This is Deputy Sheikess Carolyn Youngbay out of Wayne County, North Carolina Republic. I will step forward to read the Shabbat prayer. But first I rise, giving all perfect praise to Allah and to all of his ancestors, all of our ancestors, those we know of, some we don't. I give honor to all of our true and divine prophets, naming Jesus, Muhammed, Buddha, Confucius, and the last prophet in these days and times, our Redeemer, our illustrious Hebrew prophet, Noble Drew Ali, first, second, and third form. I extend my honors to the forerunner for Noble Drew Ali, Marcus Messiah Garvey, to our National Grand Sheikh, Joel Bratton Bey, to all of our national officials in Baltimore, Maryland, to our sheikhs, sheikesses, deputy sheikesses, brothers and sisters, our children of our Sunday school and parents, and to everyone on the call, I greet you all with Islam. I'd like to wish everyone also on the call a happy holy night. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. I will be reading the Shabbat prayer, Islam, bringing in and during the Sabbath, Bismillah, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. O Most High, thou, the creatress of all there is, thou, the all of life, the omnipotent, the all provider, the all of love, we come to thee this Sabbath Eve, grateful for your imbuing us with the radiant substance of health these 7 days past, enduring us with vibrant presence in all areas of living. We thank thee for the blessing of divine substance of wealth flowing into our lives these 7 days past, filling our lives with abundance and greatness. We thank you for all these blessings, and we bless thy name and worship thee and thee alone. We bless the creation past and pray thy will find our deeds, our work, our service to thee, approving in thy sight by your grace. We love thee, we love thee, we love thee, O Most High. We bless the creation yet manifesting, thanking thee for the breath of life and the radiant substance of health permeating our beings, endowing us with vibrant presence in all areas of our lives, ever praying that our deeds, our work, our service to thee in this creation will be found approving in thy sight, Inshallah. We thank thee for the flow of the divine substance of wealth in this creation, filling our lives with abundance and greatness. We thank you. Truly, without thee, the all-providing, we are lost. And with thee, the omnipotent, the victory is ever ours. We thank you for your indwelling spirit, speaking to and directing us to our best and highest good. May we ever hear your voice, heed your word, and manifest your will. May our hearts ever know thy presence, our minds overflow with thy thoughts, our eyes see thy divinity, our mouths speak thy words, our hands accomplish thy work, our feet walk thy path. We thank you for the wisdom to know thy will, the fortitude to manifest thy will, the perseverance to persist in thy way until thy will be done. We love and thank you, Divine One. We love and thank you for every opportunity to serve thee, to accomplish thy will. Thy will be done. May thou indwelling spirit guide and protect us this creation as we build and manifest thy divine estate in the living now, giving thanks
and praises to thee and thee alone. We love thee, we love thee, we love thee, O Most High. Amin, Ashe, Amora, Selah. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. This concludes the reading of the Shabbat prayer. I now return the floor to the moderator. Islam, peace.
Islam. Thank you, Deputy Speakers Pearl and Young Bay, for that beautiful read. If there is anyone who just came on board as far as the call, if you would like to excuse me, inshallah, if you would like to make your presence known, do so at this time, please. Islam.
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 Islam, Divine Minister. This is Brother Demetrius Williams-Hill. How are you tonight?
Everything's good, bro. All is well.
Good to hear. All is well as over here too. I just want to send up my Holy Friday night, and just wish all the Moors on the call a successful holy night, and peace and love.
Peace and love, brother. Thanks for calling in. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Reading our chapter 47, is there anyone who would like to read chapter 47?
Islam.
Islam, Islam. Sounds like Brother Sanders Bay.
Islam, Sheikh Young Bay, indeed.
Islam, Islam. I'll let you have the floor, Mo.
Giving thanks, Sheikh. This is Brother Cornelius Sanders Bay, calling out of Lake County, Florida Republic. Bismillah, ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. First and foremost, I'd like to rise to my highest of heights and give an all-perfect praise to our Father God, Allah, acknowledging our ancestors, known and unknown, recognizing the name and all true and divine prophets, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Confucius, and the last prophet in these days and times, our illustrious Hebrew prophet, Noble Jew Ali, in his first, second, and third form. I would like to remain standing and extend those honors to our National Grand Sheikh, Joe Bratton Bay, all national officials at headquarters in Baltimore, Maryland, all sheiks, sheikesses, deputy sheiks, and deputy sheikesses, and all of our friends, visitors, guests, children, members, students. I greet everyone with Islam. I'll be reading chapter 47, the Egypt, the capital empire of the Dominion of Africa. The inhabitants of Africa are the descendants of the ancient Canaanites from the land of Canaan. Old man Cush and his family are the first inhabitants of Africa who came from the land of Canaan. His father Ham and his family were second. Then came the word Ethiopia, which means the demarcation line of the dominion of Amexem, the first true and divine name of Africa. The dividing of the land between the father and the son. The dominion of Cush, northeast and southeast Africa, and northwest and southwest was his father's dominion of Africa. In later years, many of their brethren from Asia and the Holy Lands joined them. The Moabites from the land of Moab, who received permission from the pharaohs of Egypt to settle and inhabit northwest Africa. They were the founders and are the true possessors of the present Moroccan Empire, with their Canaanite, Hittite, and Amorite brethren who sojourned from the land of Canaan seeking new homes. Their dominion and inhabitation extended from northeast and southwest Africa, across the great Atlantis, even unto the present North, South, and Central America, and also Mexico in the Atlantis Islands, before the great earthquake, which caused the great Atlantic Ocean. The river Nile was dredged and made by the ancient pharaohs of Egypt in order to trade with the surrounding kingdoms. Also, the Niger River was dredged by the great pharaoh of Egypt in those ancient days for trade, and it extends eastward from the river Nile westward across the great Atlantic. It was used for trade and transportation. According to all true and divine records of the human race, there is no Negro, black, or colored race attached to the human family, because all the inhabitants of Africa were in awe of the human race, descendants of the ancient Canaanite nation from the Holy Land of Canaan. What your ancient forefathers were, you are today, without a doubt or contradiction. There is no one who is able to change man from the descendant nature of his forefathers unless his power extends beyond the great universal creator, Allah himself. These holy and divine laws are from the Prophet, Noble Jew Ali, the founder of the Uniting of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science. These laws are to be strictly preserved by the members of all the temples of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, that they will learn to open their meeting and guide it according to the principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Every subordinate temple of the Grand Major Temple is to form under the covenant of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and create their own laws and customs in conjunction with the laws of the Holy Prophet and the Grand Temple. I, the Prophet, Noble Jew Ali, was sent by the great God Allah to warn all Asiatics of America to repent from their sinful ways before that great and lawful day which is sure to come. The time has come when every nation must worship under its own vine and fig tree, and every tongue must confess his own. Through sin and disobedience, every nation has suffered slavery due to the fact that they honored not the creed and principles of their forefathers. This is why the nationality of the Moors was taken away from them in 1774, and the word Negro, black, and colored was given to the Asiatics of America who were of Moorish descent, because they honored not the principles of their mother and father and strayed after the gods of Europe, of whom they knew nothing of. And that concludes the reading of our chapter 47, Egypt, the capital empire of the Dominion of Africa. And I yield the floor back to you, Sheikh. Islam?
Islam. With a great read by Brother Cornelius Sanders Bay. I thank you for that read, beloved. During this time, I will read my notes that I have on the chapter, Egypt, the capital empire of the Dominion of Africa, chapter 47. This chapter represents the foundation of our Moorish genealogy, our story, self-acknowledge. Herein, this noble prophet, for us, the basic genealogical information, as well as scriptural and our historical perspective, establishing the crux asana, the heart of the matter, that all inhabitants of Africa were in awe of the human race, thereby invalidating the concept of Negro, black, colored, etc. Simultaneously, this foundation lesson explains to us how we come into our inheritance and birthright. This inheritance, our birthright, our land right, our nation state right, can only be claimed by those whose forebears founded the inheritance, that birthright. Lo, our prophet provides for us, the connection to our foreparents, the Moabites, were and are the true possessors of the present Moroccan Empire. Our prophet not only informs us that we are part of the human family, but also opens the way for our nation to reconnect with the family of nations, telling us of our presence in North, South, and Central America, parentheses, Northwest and Southwest are Mexican. A presence that precedes the earthquake which formed the Atlantic Ocean. This fact that is knowing the land into which we were born in our Moorish American birthright and inheritance is crucial to our self-acknowledgement and self-uplift. Being Moorish has no value without this integral and necessary perspective, comprehension, and actuation. The title merits its own research of the words Egypt, capital Empire, and Africa. Egypt is derived from the Greek word, from the Greek language, subhanAllah, and is related to the word Ethiop, the name most Asiatic scholars use in lieu of Egypt is Kemet. Capital Empire, the concept empire is a state with authority over lands outside the state's geographic borders. In that vein, Kemet had such numerous land holdings that Kemet was the largest and most solvent of all empires, then extant, thus phrased capital empire. Africa, our next point of research, is also derived from a European language, this time Latin, and as a word was assigned in parentheses on Roman maps and charts to the landmass of Hannibal's birth, that is, Carthage and the rest of the continent as the Romans knew it. So, in honor of the defeat of Hannibal in 202 BC, and in the tribute to Scipio Africanus, the second of two generals, so named, and the eighth sent to face Hannibal, Rome, on their maps and charts, subhanAllah, named the landmass Africa. If you remember history class, Hannibal's military campaigns in Rome are called the Punic Wars. When I was in junior high school, I listened to the European man talk about Hannibal, Carthage, and the Punic Wars, and elephants, and with no conscience that Hannibal and his armies look like my classmates and myself. What a travesty when the ones do not know themselves and are unable to recognize their kith and kin in his story, giving thanks and praises to Allah for noble Drew Ali, who has brought us our story. So as you can see, the title alone represents the wealth of our historical information. Now comes our first lesson. That is, we are descendant from ancient Canaanites, verses 1 through 5. Next, we encounter Cush and his father Ham, respectively, being in the first and second inhabitants of Africa. Ham, son of Noah, or Noah, and Cush, Ham's son, have left the ark in search of a landmark determining the lines of demarcation by which they may divide the landmass. Please note, Ham and Cush are the family of Noah, or Noah. The flood necessitating the ark was purportedly of nationwide dimension. It is possible that this flooding is consistent with the accounts of the continent of Lemuria, situate in area of the present-day Pacific Ocean, from which, according to James Churchwood in his new book series, the survivors were known as Abyssinians, or survivors of the abyss. Cush is the first to arrive from the land of Canaan, Mount Ararat, present-day Armenia. Where is Canaan on present-day maps? Where is Canaan on present-day maps? SubhanAllah. Once together at the landmark, which is the Great Pyramid of Giza, in Kemet, son and father divide the land, reestablishing the original prime meridian, by and from which all land is meted. Again, the word Ethiop derives from the Greek language, and we would do well to spend 2 hours in an up-to-date library to better determine the Ethiopian, why Ethiopian is not a valid nationality. Custom cannot alter the nature of truth. The land called Ethiopia is known culturally, scripturally, and historically as Abyssinia. Acknowledge someone who comes from there as Abyssinian, and you will see their face or faces light up with pride and gratitude. The so-called Ethiopians know themselves as Abyssinians and delight in being recognized and acknowledged as such. So the lines of demarcation can only be determined by locating the Great Pyramid of Giza, Kemet. Why the Great Pyramid? Yet another area meriting further digging on our part. Grand Sheikh R. Richardson Dingwell shares the book Miracle of the Ages by Worth Smith, 1934, as reading with which lift the veil of this subject. In this book are shown the lines of demarcation, that is, the setting off of our 4 quadrants of the landmass. SubhanAllah. Besides being essentially loose or loosening, speaking, Located, the pyramid is less than 4 degrees off true north. No other artifact can claim such accuracy in orientation. The pyramid is also a storehouse of scientific, mathematical, astronomical, and historical knowledge, being one of source of the earth light, inshallah, of Yashua, Isa, or Jesus, giving October 6, 4 BC as the date of his arrival to this earth plane. So the pyramid is the landmark through which the lines of demarcation, one horizontal x-axis, latitude, one vertical y-axis, longitude, excuse me, are plotted, dividing Earth's landmass into 2 hemispheres, north and south, and 2 hemispheres, east and west, creating 4 quadrants: northeast, southeast, northwest, and southwest. Mind we, these quadrants are not necessarily equal in quantity. These are the original prime meridians, always determined by the pyramid. The truth does not change or pass away. And so it is with these original prime meridians. They will always be the original and the only prime meridians. Leading the second portion, or some portions of my notes, will be Sheikh Carolyn Young Bay. Islam.
This is Deputy Sheikh Carolyn Young Bay, again re-rising, giving all perfect praise to Allah and to all of our true and divine prophets, naming Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, and Confucius, and the last prophet in these days and times, our Redeemer, our illustrious Hebrew prophet, Noble Drew Ali, extending my honors to our Grand Sheikh, Joel Bratton Bay, all national officials, sheikhs, sheikesses, deputy sheikesses, deputy for himself, sheikhs, sheikesses, deputy sheikhs, deputy sheikesses, brothers and sisters, and everyone on the call, Islam. Again, I will continue on with the additional notes for clarity on chapter 47, Islam. I'm leaving off where the divine minister, beginning where the divine minister left off, reads, "This fact and truth brings us to yet again another point of research, that is, how, why, and when did Greenwich, England become the designated prime meridian? It is evident that the Great Pyramid, being the antediluvian, which is relating to a period before the flood, landmark for land metering, the 0-degree meridian for both axles are determined thereby. The shift from Giza to Greenwich constitutes a differential of almost 30 degrees. That's 1/12 the circumference of the Earth, a considerable shift. To further obscure the truth, and indeed of the latitudinal meridian, the equator is mapped as the meridian of 0 latitude, a shift of 30 degrees latitude, and of such has its application in maritime and astronomical charts and maps. However, for surveying, mapping, and charting land, we find the equator meridian solely lacking. When we follow these prime meridians to their point of juncture, we find ourselves in the Gulf of Guinea, Atlantic Ocean. Now compare the two maps just drawn by our two sets of prime meridians. The truth shows clear and the game is plain. We would never find our way home with this Greenwich setup. That's for sure. Besides, the equator is more of an astronomical than a geographical line. Although the equator is geographically the widest circumference of the Earth, demarking the globe's northern and southern hemisphere, its usage on most maps is also to show the sun's path around the globe. The map is delineated by the tropics of Cancer and Capricorn and represents 46 to 47 degrees of latitude determined by the Earth's 23 plus degrees of oscillation or wobble spinning on its axis revolving around the sun. So, from the pyramid, Cush and Ham take their families and repopulate the earth, and after some time, their brethren join them. For our part, however, the noble Drew takes us to the land of Moab, from which its children, the Moabites, had fled, subsequently receiving permission to settle and inhabit northwest Africa. Verse 6. Why were the Moabites, along with their brethren, seeking new homes? Clarity is gained through our story found in the book of Numbers, chapter 22, 23, and 24. Here we find the story of a willful, unyielding, stiff-necked, and rebellious Moabite prince called Balak, and a humble, obedient servant of Allah called Balaam. The prince arrogantly pursues his designs, totally ignoring messages received via Balaam from the all-providing, and thusly the Moabites lose their land to the children of Israel. We turn now to the story of Yashua and the siege and fall of Jericho, the capital city of Moab. These are the accounts of the Moabites finding themselves homeless, landless, and on the move, very similar to the refugees crisis seen today around the globe. Also, consider the proper conduct of a prince as detailed in chapter 29, Magistrate and Subject. We are told the Moabites received permission from the pharaohs of, in parentheses, Kemet, to settle and inhabit northwest Africa. Why and how do the pharaohs come to possess title to these lands? Since the days of Joseph, Kemet gained and held title to many lands. This chapter title tells Kemet the capital empire for just this reason. Titles to some of these lands were acquired during Joseph's tenure as the seer. Read Genesis 47, 13 through 23 for a scriptural rendering of events. Ultimately, Kemet held the land title to northwest Amexem and granted usage, that is, settlement and inhabitation, to the Moabites and their brethren. Hence, the populating of the modern-day Western Hemisphere by these Canaanite children, Asiatic all. The phase, dominion, and inhabitation is an expression of an extensive migration of the Moabites and brethren via land, in parentheses, extending from Asia, meaning that which is called the Far East, through the Holy Lands as known today, to northwest and southwest Amexem, before the great earthquake which caused the Atlantic Ocean. The prophet calls that which is known as the Caribbean islands the Atlantis Islands, this being a reference to said islands as the mountaintop, that is, unsubmerged remnants of the sunken landmass called Atlantis. Many have asked of a timeline to these events, to which, in addition to your scriptural and archival research, we can only say that our flag is over 10,000 years old. Our attention now return to the east, addressing our ancient trade and transport routes, verse 8, with the dredging of the two major waterways, one the Nile running north and south, and the other the Niger facilitating commerce east and west. The Niger extends eastward from the river Nile, taking us into the Straits of Yemen, and from there to India and all of the so-called Orient. Consult the book or video, The Ancient Sea Kings. The Niger extends across the great Atlantic and shows our trade routes to this side from days ancient. Northbound, the current of the westward Niger is shown on contemporary maps and charts as the North Equatorial Current. The Niger's current carries vessels into the Gulf of Mexico and unites with the mighty Mississippi, forming one transcontinental water route of our ancient ones. This is also the path followed by hurricanes spawning in the Gulf of Guinea. Grandsheet Richardson Dingle-Ill said, "This is how we traveled from the interior region without entering the Europeans' coastal colonies. Our return to the east entails entering the Gulf of Mexico at New Orleans, traveling to Suriname or Guyana, South America, and from there via the sister current flowing east, in parentheses, the South Equatorial Current, ever passing through Asiatic lands only. We must reinstate these routes in the development of our national and international agenda. In consolidating this lesson, the Noble One reconfirms, verse 9 through 11, that the events shared were acutated by the descendants of the ancient Canaanite nation. No Negro, black, or colored found in the true and divine records, and with the unequivocal declaration, what your forefathers were, you are today without doubt or contradiction. Therefore, that which was done, in parentheses, the European psychology of the Negro mindset, can be undone, because there is no entity with power beyond the great universal creator. Here is the base from which we build. Now, verses 12 through 14, our interests are turned to the work of the uniting of the MSTofA, with general instructions for subordinate temples. The uniting, at least in part, is seen in verse 13, in which the members of all the temples of the Moorish Holy Temples of Science of North America are instructed to strictly preserve these laws as they unite with the updated Moorish Science Temple of America, ensuring one organization, the newer assimilating the older. The noble prophet, once again, verses 15 through 17, declares his divinity appointed mission to warn all Asiatics of America. Then the noble messenger speaks to the cosmic moment as well as the reason for the subjugation of the Moors. In doing so, the prophet points to specific year, 1774. Why? Review your law and history course lessons. The bottom line message in the word of Grand Sheikh Timothy Dingle Ill: be yourself and no one else, and all will be well in the will and sight of Allah. This time I return the floor to the moderator. First, I want to give you the some of the connecting keys from our 101 questionnaire: key 16, key 31, and key 32, and also scripture references, numbers from Numbers chapter 22, 23, and 24, from Genesis 47, 13 through 23, Deuteronomy 23, 3 through 4, Jeremiah 8, Jeremiah 48, also the book of Ruth, and also Isaiah 19, 19 through 20. Now I return the floor to the moderator. Islam and peace.
Islam. I'd like to thank Deputy Sheikh Curl and Young Bay for such a great read. Thank you, sister. And at this time, is there anyone who would like to elaborate on this chapter 47, capital empire of the Islam?
Islam, Sheikh Young Bay.
Islam, bro. Islam.
I was waiting to demonstrate, and I have to say, you and the Deputy Sheikhs, y'all you took everything I was gonna say, so I'm still gonna put something together because I gotta rearrange it now. But I mean, I'm just gonna go on the fly. But I appreciate you much. That was a beautiful and full commentary. Appreciate you much. This is Brother Cornelius Sanders Bay calling out of Lake County, Florida Republic. We rising to my highest of heights, giving all perfect praises to our Father God Allah. This chapter 47, is very profound, and it's definitely, that's. I remember when I first came into the temple, and we had this demonstration, and the Divine Minister Sheikh Rahman Ill, had us, purchase a map. We put the map up on the wall, did the markings, and it was for the first time in my life that I was able to, you got a chance to really actually get a chance to see exactly where home was. And to me, that was very, very profound. And just, Egypt, the title of the chapter, Egypt, the capital empire, the dominion of Africa. That's a pretty profound word also, the dominion. So there's some key words in here, dominion, inhabitants, descendants. And these things, those words mean something more concrete and connects you to the land, mass, as opposed to a different word, which is the words Negro, Black, and colored. See, that attempts to disconnect you from the from being an inhabitant, from the dominion, from being a descendant of who you actually truly are. And I just, I really, it's not really too much I can really say, but it was just key to me. It was so beautiful to be able to, from each verse to actually be able to, see it on the map and see how you connect the dots, and how it, going all the way from the River Nile, which really is an extension of the Mississippi River, which then, and it was just, it's just very profound. And also too about the international date line being moved to Greenwich. When I was in school, geography, science, and history, those were naturally my favorite subjects. So I always studied the map. But I came to a conclusion though when I was in school, and I never forget it. I said it to my teacher. I said, Mr. Lichman, I said, how can because I noticed in up from maybe elementary to like maybe high school, I want to say they give you a round globe. So that round globe, if you really study it, when you're doing from the equator to the Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn, you're gonna if you're doing it correctly, like I did, you're gonna go to the teacher and be like, well, hold on, how can this be? Something ain't right. And he's telling me, well, no, there's nothing wrong, everything is right. And I'm saying, well, it just can't be. You see what I'm saying? But then once you get into a higher grade, they give you with the flat map. So that right there is to leave you confused so that you can't find your way home. You see what I'm saying? So I definitely all praises due unto Allah for sending us our holy prophet, because this thing, the first time I ever read this chapter and we did the map, I said to myself, this whole time when I was younger, looking at this map, this is what I was looking for my way home. So, it was like that. It was in that instance that, that what I was wanting to know, I was able to see it, and I was able to see it, and I learned it. And furthermore, in the commentary, when was saying that the route that we supposed to use, instead of for our own route, and it's mighty not funny, but it's mighty funny that President Abraham Lincoln also had that in his for us to travel that way also too. And then you got to remember too the importance of the 3630, which that's where the Liberty Bell is, and which is also the same place where the Pyramid of Giza is. So we know we have these connections, these landmarks to show us our way home, and our ancestors did those things for a certain reason. So and then just for the longest time I knew my blood type. My blood type is O positive, but I was never conscious enough to do any kind of research in it. So when I came into the temple and I said, okay, I did the research, it originates from North, South, and Central America and Australia. So then, every time I see it now, you know what I mean? It says, even the present, on verse 7, it says, even unto the present North, South, and Central America. You see what I'm saying? And that right there showed me that, nobody didn't have to tell me, well, yeah, this is where but just seeing this and studying this, and it's just like, okay, well, that's my blood type right there. You see what I'm saying? So it's all beautiful and wonderful. And, I'm very much thankful, always grateful, for this, for our prophet bringing this to us. Because had he didn't do this, I wouldn't even know. We all wouldn't know. And then, going into the true and divine records, that right there was profound too. Because I remember as a little youngster, little young boy, I remember looking at my grandma, my grandmother, and I used to say to her, I watched her put on her makeup one day, and I said, Mom, I said, how come you always say we black, and when I look at you, you don't look black? And my grandmother, here we come with this, I was always questioning and asking questions, and she said, boy, just never mind, we black, just leave it up, we black, that's it, and I said, I'm little, my grandmother raised me, that's who I believed in, but I believed in her with all my heart, but even when she said that, I still couldn't believe it though, so it's just a lot. And just verse 17, this is why the nationality of the Moors was taken away from them in 1774, and the word Negro, black, and colored was given to the Asiatics of America, who are of Moorish descent, because they honor not the principles of their mother and father, and strayed after the gods of Europe, of whom they knew nothing of. So see, I always wanted to know what my nationality was. So that was the biggest thing ever. You know what I mean? So to find that out and be like, okay, well, this is what happened. So this makes more sense than it doesn't. Instead of you just saying, okay, well, yeah, you're black, you're African American, this, that, and the third. Like, no, I never understood. I never could accept that. Like, that don't even sound right. That's not connected to nothing. You see what I'm saying? You saying I'm Negro, black, and colored, but the only thing you showing me the history of that is me being in chains, and you doing this, and I supposed to came over here on the boat, and the whole time we was already here, and it's just I don't want to keep going on and on, but I just wanted to say something because I was prepared to demonstrate, but I'll yield the floor and put a period behind my conversation and yield the floor back to you, Sheikh. Islam.
Islam. That was a beautiful demonstration, Brother Cornelius Sanders Bay. That was a beautiful demonstration, and we went through. Quite sure some of us have went through some of the experiences, somewhat a little different, but somewhat the same. And that was a beautiful demonstration. I really appreciate you, brother. You demonstrate, you always demonstrate in a high honor, and I respect you a great deal, beloved. Peace and blessings. Is there anyone else who would like to elaborate on this chapter 47, the capital empire of the Dominion of Africa? Egypt, the capital empire of the Dominion of Africa.
Islam. This is Brother Patrick Gore-Eel, calling from the South Carolina Republic. First of all, I'd like to rise to my highest heights, giving all perfect praise to Allah, Mother, Father, God of the universe, recognizing all true and divine prophets, namely Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Confucius, and the last prophet in these days and times, our illustrious Hebrew prophet, Noble Drew Ali, in the first, second, and third form. I'd like to extend honors and give honors to the ancestors known and unknown, extending those honors to our National Grand Sheikh, Joel Batten Bey, all national officials, sheikhs, sheikesses, deputy sheikesses, and Moors on the call. I greet you all with Islam. I like to elaborate on the nationality taken away from Moors in 1774, and the word Negro, black, and colored were given to the Asiatics of America who were of Moorish descent because of not adhering to the covenant of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And in my experiences, I see that in today's world where these principles are not being adhered to and people are gravitating toward titles and feelings and straying away from love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, I'm able to recognize it and see it with the lack of love that we have for our brothers, for our Moors and Mobidises. So I just want to make that distinction for my own personal feelings, and I'll put a period on my demonstration. Peace.
Islam. What a beautiful demonstration, Gore-Eel, and it was good you just express the way that you feel, and now that you've come into the Moorish Science Temple, you have found this to be true, and it's just amazing to me. The Prophet, he brought us our nationality and birthright, and he really enlightened me because I didn't know any of this. I didn't know anything at all. I was so-called black and Negro and colored. In fact, I used to raise my hand and raise my fist up and black power this and black power that, and a number of ways I was wrong. I would read though, but I hadn't read any of the books I think I read some of the books that some of the Moors may have had, but I didn't read the crust of it. I was reading like Nikki Giovanni, about Angela Davis, about Ron Karanga. It was Ron Karanga at that time, and he changed his name. And I was reading about all these people, but I wasn't getting into the crust of nationality. I have no idea about nationality. The only thing I had in mind is they said we was Negroes, we were Negroes, we were black, you know, and but my mother, going back to what Cornelius Sanders Bay said, my mother never liked that word black, and I'm gonna tell you, I had all these posters down in the basement, and I had them. You might remember the psychedelic paint. They had all different things, and I would paint all these had all these posters up, and I would paint these tops because we couldn't afford curtains. So we would get all these beer tops and go to the store, and the guy was saving for me, and I would put them all together, and I would paint them, me and my niece. And so I had all these the Panthers and all of them around in my basement and whatnot. And when I would light up put a blue light in there, which was a black light at the time, but what had a blue light in there, and it would shine up, and I would say, this is Huey Newton, this is the Black Panther Party, and all those different things. But I had no knowledge of nationality, of birthrights. I had no knowledge of any of that. And as I had stated once before, the prophet, actually, I think he saved my life. In fact, he did save my life, and in fact, I don't think I would have met my wife if I hadn't been in Moorish Science. But the demonstration that you presented, brother, you spoke from the heart, and you and Cornelius Sanders Bay, you're really hitting the nail on the head. And some of the other brothers and sisters, if you want to elaborate, I mean, you may want to read just from verse 8 and key 8 and key 9 of this chapter. Feel free to do so. Islam. Does anyone else would like to elaborate on this chapter 47, the capital empire, the dominion of Africa? Feel free to do so. Press star and say Islam and say what's on your mind. I mean, if you don't elaborate on this chapter, elaborate on another chapter that relates to this chapter. Or if you want to talk about another chapter that don't relate to this chapter. Islam.
Brother A.D. Wimbush Bay, Detroit, Michigan. I'd like to give praises to the mighty God, the great God, the universal God, the creative faith. Allah may be a sweet and holy name. Give honors to the beloved prophet, the last prophet in these days, Prophet Noble Jura Ali. Honors to Marcus Garvey, the Forerunners. Give honors to all the Moors out there, Grand Sheik, Sheiks, Sheikas, Chairman, etc. This chapter 46, it brings us back to our conscious state of mind, because we have been taught wrong, like the brother, even in school. We've been taught wrong, but it's nobody's fault but our fault. Now is the time we could teach our own, or we can go into the Moorish Science Temple and be taught. We give honors to the Israelite brothers out there because they teaching. Here, as you said, in number 9, according to all true and divine records of the human race, there is no Negro, black, or color race attached to the human family, because all the inhabitants of Africa were and are of the human race, the descendant of the ancient Canaanite nation from the holy land of Canaan. And what your ancient forefathers were who they were. You are today. So what my ancient forefather was, I am today. They wasn't calling themselves no byword or no negative word out there that don't exist, because they exist. And it's a sin to call yourself something that don't exist. And you call yourself something that don't exist, just pay attention to it. Don't accept anything. Don't accept this negative or this Black History Month, because you know already that you're conscious. You can't accept something that came to you and then you know it's falsehood. You want to accept this Black History Month, that's not being recorded. Your true history. This is your true history right here, how the prophet had to bring it to us. And without a doubt or a contradiction. That's what that without a doubt. You can't change man. You can't do it. I don't care, Rome, you try to do it. The papers, you try to do it. But our prophet brought it back, put us back on the manifest. And some of the leaders out there that got us on it, okay, now we got a mind on our own. We know when to do it, where to do it, how to do it. If we follow, if the blind, what they say, the blind leading the blind, then you're going to fall into that ditch or that hole. Don't let nobody, wait on, man. Wait, nah. I'm about to fill this application out right here, as the prophet said. I'm going to put it down, Moorish American. If they don't want to know what that is, they can ask me. If they try to tell me something that don't exist, that don't exist. Where's that at on the map? It don't exist. There is no one, number 11, there is no one who is able to change man from his descent nature of his forefathers. Ain't nobody on this earth can try to change that. Now we waking up, they like, oh, they waking up. There's a big thing running around the world. They waking up. Some people is happy. Some people is proud. Some people's like, about time. If y'all look all over the news, the radio, over the world, they're imitating us, especially the negativity or the rap and all that. Now, that's why the prophet said, be yourself. You want to imitate somebody? Imitate the prophet. That way, they going to see us. They waking up over there. Look at them. What they feathers and turbans on. They upright, independent, and fearless. They speaking from the higher tone. They speaking aught else. They ain't speaking naught else. We can follow them, Unless his power is extended beyond the great universal creator, Allah himself. So can't nobody change us. We got it. They'd be pleased to know who we is. We are Moorish Americans. We love the prophets, and many of us out here that do work for the prophet, we love the prophet because we know who we is. Can't nobody change that. Okay, here's your nationality card, you know what I'm saying? Be happy with it, you know what I'm saying? I know some of the Moors back in the days got super happy, brought something that prophet said, I brought you something to shout about. So they was just shouting about it, But hey, with these two books, you can save a nation, take it and save yourself. We got to sit here, give honor to the sister because she broke it down, especially went through that Bible. I'm like trying to go through here like a mastermind and figure it out myself. But I'm like, man, okay, she done gave me what I'm looking for, So give honor to you Moors and keep doing the work we're doing. We appreciate the conference call that's still uplifting the Moors here, there, and everywhere for those who are sick, unable to get out there in the weather or who don't got transportation. Allah still made a way. What can cause good can cause evil, at the same time. But this is for the good, So this conference calls, we give praises to Allah and honors to the brothers who set this up. For the ones who are unable to go to the meeting or unable to get to certain places, we can always get on the conference call and speak our mind, exercise our five senses. Who is able to do so? We are able to do so, That's why the prophet made the questionnaire plain and simple where a baby can understand it. I was just sitting here thinking today, I was like, I never tried that, just to set a questionnaire down in a regular book and see which one the little child would pick up, And he probably pick up the questionnaire because it looked like the cartoon character, so he gonna be more in tune to pick that up and then anything else, especially the signs and symbols. Children are smarter than the parents are. All is well, more. I came as I came in love. I leave in peace. I put a dot on mine. Peace.
Islam, Islam, brother Winbush Bay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, beautiful demonstration, brother. Beautiful demonstration. It's very true, according to all true and divine prophets, to all true and divine records of the human race. There is no Negro, black, or colored race attached to the human family, and that's true. And it's very, very more. The more we say these positive things, we send these things out into the ethers, and more people will pick it up. So, we keep on doing what we're doing. With sending out positive messages and talk to brothers and sisters when you can. And sometimes they won't listen, but sometimes just one word can change the life of a brother or sister. And keep sending out the love, brother. Keep sending out the love. Islam, is there anyone else who want to elaborate on this chapter 47, the capital empire, the dominion of Africa?
Small little pamphlet.
Islam.
Islam, Sheikh.
Islam.
This is Brother Cook Bay, Deputy Sheikh on the Florida Republic.
All right. All right.
First I want to rise to give all perfect praise to Allah, the Mother, Father, God of the universe. Giving our honor to all true and divine prophets, many Jesus, Muhammed, Buddha, and Confucius, our last illustrious prophet in these times. The Honorable Prophet Noble Drew Ali in the first, second, third form. And they extend those honors to the Harbinger, the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey. Also, they extend those honors to our National Grand Sheikh Joe Bratton Bay and staff, Mighty Works Foundation out of Baltimore. All sheikhs and sheikesses, all adepts, deputy sheikhs and sheikesses, all children, all guests on the call, our brothers and sisters. First and foremost, I want to give definitely honors to you, Sheikh Young Bay, Divine Minister, and also the Deputy Sheikhess, Carolyn Young Bay. That was a powerful, historical read on our part, especially for our people. You have many key interpretations and key links that definitely reconnects with even all the different groups and sects in the world today, even those who are seeking and those who are, laying us astray. But those who are seeking will definitely be able to see and gain those truths. It's like a heartfelt rejuvenation. So I just want to give honors to that demonstration. Please don't take it lightly, my brothers and sisters on the call, because that information is more keys to our uprising out of this amnesia state, this dead state. Because even me coming forward, I got to give definitely honors to the prophet, because give thanks to Allah for sending us the prophet, the Hebrew prophet, Melchizedek in that form. Because even in my days in the past, a lot of things also give honors to Brother Cornelius Sanders Bay. Definitely everything that he spoke of was definitely similar to our movements and our upbringings and our trials that we went through, even being here in the Americas. Giving honors to Brother Patrick Ill, if I'm saying it incorrectly, pardon me, please, and Brother Wimbush Bay. Those are heartfelt demonstrations from the heart. You can feel it worldwide. It was definitely warm. But even on my experience, just to add on, because that demonstration was, definitely had many keys that many of us may be afraid to even speak up at that time because it's so powerful, but don't be afraid to express, because we all went through these different experiences. And it was through the prophet giving us these keys, these missing keys that we needed. He was like that missing link, because we had many prophets, many harbingers, and many speakers and motivators that came, even here in the Americas, and they used Black History Month, as they say, this month, February, because we know it's the shortest month, but it's one of the only months that's based upon our original calendar system, as you would say. They use the shortest month with such power to betray us and lead us in like different pits and falls and still not acknowledging and knowing ourselves. But they know that. They use certain high energy for certain days, certain numbers. These are mad scientists. We are the Moorish scientists, so, have no fear. But even coming forward, I was always thinking everything was in the East, even coming to that awakening, being led from the same pastors on the street, corners, inside the brick and mortar, even certain so-called leaders that lead our people even to this day. We've seen and now that many of us are rich economically, materially, but they're still using that power to lead us astray and allowing certain things to betray us and keep us in the pitfall. So you have to really think, who's really trying to uplift us? Who's really trying to awaken us? Who's really trying to enlighten us out of this darkness? Because it's truly dark. It's very dark. But thinking everything was always in the East, it was through the Prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Seeing his teachings, even in the Sunday school classes many moons ago, as the brother was speaking about the map, it was very powerful to see that understanding, to see how the land was divided in four even after the flood, because even chapter 47 that we're reading today, it was very powerful when I first heard it. And just putting those missing links together, coming from out of that Pan-African movement, as many of us experience, even as the brother Wimbush was speaking about the Hebrew Israelites. Well, one thing you have to ask them, all of us, we still have that connection through Ruth, so they love Yashua or Issa or Jesus, as you would say. They love Yeshua. So it's that connection, and you bring that to many of their minds, and the conversation is like they get stuck because they forgot about that link. Because even many of us that's going through the churches, they would say, well, Moab got cast out, but it was through Ruth that we came back into that lineage, that true line. And when you're looking, I was looking at certain keys, verse 4, on chapter 4, pardon me, I think that's the one verse. One moment. Verse 4, the dominion of Cush, northeast and southeast Africa, and northwest and southwest was his father's dominion of Africa. And we see in chapter 45, it shows us the link. Let's see it, showing us that in verse 3, the Egyptians were the Hamites and of direct descendant of Mizraim. But when you look at Mizraim is basically this means descendants of Ham, in Hebrew meaning mound or fortress. So they're basically saying the same thing, that the Hamites, the father who was given the northwest portion of Africa, was over here in the Americas, was the first Egypt. That was the first Egypt, that was the foundation. Moab meaning from the father. And we know that we are the ancient mother and fathers of creation. So this was the foundation, this was the upliftment. Then we see in the circle the 101 questions, key 32, where's the Moroccan Empire? Northwest of Mexico, in the northwest. So by reading that chapter and getting these early teachings to show that connection, that Ham, the land of the Moabites, was the first Egypt. We had two Egypts, as the National Grand Sheikh would say, enough for the elders to keep it reiterating to us. And then we find the certain books that link up the keys to the prophet teachings, that it all shows us that the land that we thought we didn't belong to, being taught about, was always across the waters. But we was on the foundation all along. We was always home. We was always home. not to go on, because I know there's many other brothers and sisters that like to speak, but this chapter is so profound, Morris. Please don't take it lightly. It was like a rejuvenation. This is our vast estate is speaking about our inheritance and giving honors to the President Lincoln on this day, because this is his solar return. He showed us that this was Egypt of the West. He knew the prime meridian line. He knew of that. He was a surveyor himself as one of his skills. So he was showing, Allah was using him to show us some of the keys and giving us forward our vast estate, what the Prophet elaborated on and gave us that awakening to show that we are the mothers and fathers of this land, and we inspired the whole world. Our bloodlines, all so-called rulers, I would say, east, west, north, or south, has our bloodline running through them. Even the lighter olive complexion Moors over in the east, they know of our true bloodline. They know that they're us. They're part of us, but they're waiting for us to awaken. So Moors, just stay strong, because this teaching and this understanding, overstanding, it was definitely enlightenment, and it was a very mind, horizon. But there's not much I could say, because the demonstration was very powerful. That's just my little 5 senses and my inspiration, and just more brothers and sisters, just awaken and realize what we're going through. These are the keys. Peace and light. Islam, return the floor to the moderator.
Islam, Brother Cook Bay. Islam, well said, brother. Well said. Wow, that the elaboration was very powerful, and like the other demonstration before you, they were more powerful. And the more we put that in the ethers, more people will gravitate to it. They won't know actually what it was that made them want to come to the Moorish Science Temple and talk about Asiatics, that want to make them come to the Moorish Science Temple, but they gravitated to it. The light. Most of us out there were looking for something, and we were searching in our own right, and we came from all walks of life, and many more will come. I like to congratulate you on that elaboration mode. In fact, all the Moors who elaborated, and you spoke about Lincoln, which another brother did before you. It spoke about Lincoln, and today is Lincoln's birthday. April 12th, 1809, he was born. He was known as Honest Abe and Illinois rail splitter, and those were the things that February 12th. my mistake. February 12th, and he was delivering. He was the prophet. Third form used to call him the prophet president, because he gave signs and the sense to where the only one would understand them per se. The European somewhat understand them, but the ones who understand them would be the Moors. And all praise is due to our prophet, and to a first, a second, and third form, and all praise is due to our noble Grand Sheik, who's been on this trail a long time, and all praises to you, everybody on the call, everybody wish they could be on the call. Mose, when y'all are sincere, like you're sincere, and plumb the line, and even if you say Islam, or I don't have much to say, but I want to say Islam, that's saying a lot to keep this going, keep this movement going. And one thing, I haven't heard much from our sisters. You gotta say it's Islam. I mean, be the verse from the chapter 47. Say Islam. That's good. Islam. Islam.
Islam, beloved. All is well.
Islam.
Islam. What you calling a sister to the floor, Sheik?
Yes, I was, but if I said if they can't do the move and say Islam, then that's saying something. They're contributing to the call.
Oh, yeah, indeed. Well, I can definitely yield to see if we have a sister that would love to come forth. Islam, I yield.
Islam, just calling to say Islam.
Okay, all right, sister, that's saying a lot. Islam.
This is Sister Carla Green Hill for the Massachusetts Commonwealth.
All
I
right.
rise my highest heights and give all perfect praises to the Mother, Father, God of the universe, Allah. I give honor to all ancestors, known and unknown, recognizing and naming all true and divine prophets, Jesus, Muhammed, Buddha, Confucius, and the last prophet in these days and times, our illustrious Hebrew prophet, Noble Jew Allah, in his first, second, and third form, extending honors to our National Grand Sheikh, Joe Bratton Bay, all national and local officials, all sheiks, sheikesses, deputy sheikesses, all of our children and students, members, guests, and citizens, everyone on the call tonight. Happy Holy Day, happy Holy Night again. I just want to read a couple of verses from the chapter just to bring a highlight to it. Chapter 16 and 17. Through sin and disobedience, every nation has suffered slavery due to the fact that they honored not the creed and principles of their forefathers. That is why the nationality of the Moors was taken away from them in 1774, and the word Negro, black, and colored were given to the Asiatics of America, who are of Moorish descent, because they honored not the principles of their mother and father and strayed after the gods of Europe, of whom they knew nothing of. And with that, I return the floor to the moderator. Islam and peace.
Islam. We got some sisters in there. Islam sister. Is there any other sister like to say something? Islam. Sheikh Gordon May, Islam, was that you?
Islam, Sheik, appreciate you, beloved.
Islam. You take the floor, boy. You have the floor.
Islam. Appreciate you, Sheik. Islam, Morris, it's your good brother, Sheik Isaiah Orton Bay. Rising to my highest heights and give all perfect praise to our Mother, Father, God of the universe, whom we more refer to as Allah. Giving our honor to our ancestors, known and unknown, naming, recognizing all true and divine prophets, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Confucius, our last prophet in these last days and times, our illustrious Hebrew prophet, the honorable prophet, Noble Jew Allah, first, second, and third form. Our honors to our national officials at headquarters, Baltimore, Maryland, under the guidance and direction of our National Grand Sheikh, Joe Bratton Bay, all of our sheiks, sheikesses, deputy sheikesses, our staff, members, citizens, my brothers and sisters that's on the call with us tonight. Islam. Beautiful commentary by everyone who spoke, our brothers and our sisters, in reference to this chapter. And again, this is like our good brother Deputy Sheikh Cook Bay stated, and everyone else, definitely a profound chapter. And as we know, our first chapters, you see a lot of those quotation marks. This is Prophet Noble Jew Ali bringing and revealing those secrets to us that's been kept back. So now we're getting into Prophet Noble Jew Ali's language. And again, this is our blueprint to our story. We've grown up. We know his story. He told us about how we got here and these things of this nature. So this is very profound because this is the outline to help us hear and understand when rocks cry out. So definitely it's profound because as we can see, our good brother Horace Butler, through his thorough discoveries and research, he has revealed what Prophet Noble Drew Ali was teaching us here in chapter 47. He's still coming from a Christian background, but this is where we come in at, and we're actually able to hear those rocks cry out. We actually have that resonant and that foundation to recognize those frequencies that's emanating from the rocks. So yes, our ancestors is within us. We have the earth, we have the water, we have the fire. These are the elements. And within these elements, a lot of things are stored. Information, water stores information. All right? The land stores information. We have to be returned to our families and our possessions. What is our possessions? You have your blueprint, Moors, right here. Chapter 47. This is our title to the vast estate. I know we heard our National Grand Sheik state on many occasions dealing with the movie National Treasure. And again, one thing the European does, he will put it right in front of your face because he knows the masses doesn't understand it. And going into that verse where, I mean, not the verse, but that part of the movie where the grandfather was talking to his grandson, he told him about the Book of Secrets. And he says it's page 47, and then you see the trademark and the different hieroglyphs and the pretty little pyramids going all across the screen. These are the signs and the symbols for the conscious mind. Prophet Noble Drew Ali has enlightened us and gave us that conscious mind with this foundation, chapter 47. He's taken us back to a time that we don't know about, that we didn't remember. But now with our consciousness awakened and with that holy breath of truth in us, we can do what? Hear those rocks cry out. It's going to open us up to start to look into global history. This is what Prophet Noble Drew Ali was showing us, that we were a global people, and we still are to this day, because man's descent nature does not change. So it's vital for us to appreciate our Prophet in these lessons, because it's him that allows us to get our tunnel vision. He told us we come from Africa, first thing we're doing is getting a DNA test. If you have a nationality or know your nationality, you won't get hooked up by that scam. Remember, more we're returning the church and Christianity back to the Europeans. That means the European psychology and everything that comes with that, we must return it. So we're giving him his stories back about his transatlantic slave trade. We're giving him his story back about our origins of us as a people, because we're clear. We have a solid foundation. Egypt, comma, the capital dominion of the empire. That's deep, Morris, just within the title. So again, Morris, continue to examine, study, extract, and apply it to ourselves. And as we apply it to ourselves, the deeper and the further we're able to trace back. And with that, I put a period behind my statements. Appreciate the time, Sheik, Islam, and again, happy holy day to all the Moors on the call. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Alaikum, Islam. Appreciate you, Sheik. Peace.
Islam, and that portion of, that's food for thought. That's food for thought. Islam, as always, you gave a beautiful demonstration. Love to hear you demonstrate. I love to hear all of you demonstrate. And at this time, we'll close out subhanAllah, excuse me. We'll close out. I have a few announcements. Islam?
Sorry, Sheikh. I thought I was muted. Islam.
Oh, okay. All right. Islam. Sunday school conference call playback for anyone who is interested in listening to or reviewing the Sunday school recordings can go to our website at Moorish American National Republic.com and go to the resource tab to the Sunday school recording to access our recordings. Sunday school enrollment. Those interested can send an email to Sunday school at Moorish American National Republic.com for registration and to receive your info packet. Please include your names of all the children, their ages, their birth dates, and school grade. Our town hall call is every Sunday evening at 7:30. We discuss the national side of the movement. Join us in the evening on Sundays at 443-961-4434. Our Moorish School of Law and History. Islam, Sheikh Azir Orton Bey, would you like to elaborate on the Moorish School of Law and History? Islam?
All right, Islam. I'm unmuted now. Can you hear me, Sheikh?
Yeah, I can hear you. You can hear it.
Islam. Indeed, Sheikh. Yes, I can give a brief reminder. Islam Moors, our Moorish School of Law and History, is open for enrollment. We are still accepting applications for citizenship and enrollment into our first course of the year, which is the Warning, Prophet to All Nations in 1928. Again, applications and enrollment for our school is still open. You have up until the 7th week to enroll. All enrollments after the 7th week will automatically enroll you into the second course of the year. So again, more, you do still have time to get enrolled. So if you have any family, friends, associates that you've been talking to, let them know it's not too late. They can still enroll. However, they will be responsible for going back and making up the classes and previous assignments that they missed. So again, more, all enrollment is open up until the 7th week. We're currently going into our, is it the 4th or the 5th week? I believe it's the 4th week. And we're currently going into our 4th week of instruction for our Moorish School of Law and History. So yeah, more, you still got about 3 more weeks left to enroll. It's not too late, so you want to definitely go ahead and get your information sent in. Dealing with this situation, you know, a lot of the mail is backed up. So again, more, it's not too late, but we definitely want to try to get on that ASAP. And one thing I do tell all the Moors, when start practicing it now, Moors, when you're sending in your information, go ahead and pay that extra money to receive that tracking. That way, if anything take place, again, we know the post office, they're short on staff, mail is getting lost. So protect yourself, Morris. Go ahead and pay that extra finance to get that tracking. That way, at least you can be able to track your package and have some type of idea of what's going on with what you are submitting. So just go ahead and get into the practice and the habit, because when we're handling business after we finish, we definitely want to use greenbacks and make sure we got signatures and make sure that people did receive what was sent to them. So just go ahead and start getting to the practice now, Morris, And again, it's your document. So again, put that extra caution and extra protection on things that's concerning and pertaining to you. And with that, Sheik, I'll put a period behind my statement. I hope that brought some clarity in reference to some little information about the Moorish school law and history and our current standings right now. All right, Islam, yield the floor back to you, beloved. Peace.
Islam, Sheik. And thank Sheik Gordon Bay for that elaboration on the classes. Our Friday Holy Night call is every Friday evening at 8 p.m. You can join us by dialing 443-961-4434. Our members forum call is every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Members in good standing can send an email to webmaster at MoorishAmericanNationalRepublic.com for instructions. Our Sisters Auxiliary call is every fourth Thursday of each month. Sisters waiting to connect with other sisters with other feminine energy can send an email to Sisters Auxiliary 13@gmail.com for instructions. Young Men's Business League call is every third Thursday of each month. For those interested, can send an email to Young Men Business League gmail@gmail.com. Skills and talents committees. Our committees need your leadership and skills. Those interested can visit our website at MoorishAmericanNationalRepublic.com. At this time, are there any announcements from any of our officials? I have one announcement. This administrative announcement is to members. When mailing your dues, please include your dues card with a photocopy of your dues card. Make 2 copies. Keep 1 copy home for your record. Include the month and year you are paying your dues for. Also, if you change your address, please indicate so with a note when you mail your dues card. This is so we can update and mark the records correctly. Also, in the top right-hand corner on your dues card, you see a line there and has DON, which is date of naturalization. If would you write in your date of your naturalization there? In the event, if there is no line there and there's not DON there, write your date of naturalization up in your right-hand corner anyway. This concludes the administrative announcement for the Moorish Science Temple, the Divine and National Movement of North America, Incorporated, number 13. The reading of the divine warning by the prophet. Divine warning by the prophet. Noble U.S.A. Prophet warns all Muslims. Governors orders to read. Proclamation at each meeting. I hereby inform all members that they must end all radical agitating speeches while at work, in their homes, or on the streets. Will for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequences. We are for love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any member or group of members who hold malicious feelings toward the temple or the prophet or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the law laid down to them by the prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their card and button, cease wearing their turban and fez, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet Noble Jew Ali. And if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet, therefore, is sending out the divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they will do their part in protecting the prophet and the temple. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sinful ways by order of Prophet Noble Jew Ali. Do you know if the Grand Sheikh is on or not? If the Grand Sheikh is here?
Islam, Sheikh. I don't see him on the board. Islam.
Okay. Okay. Well, we'll read the Holy Covenant of the Asiatic Nation, chapter 25. The Holy Covenant of the Asiatic Nation. Please repeat after me. Ye are the children of one Father.
We are the
children of one Father.
Provided for by his care.
Provided for
by his care.
And the breast of one mother has given you suck.
And the breast of one mother has given
us suck.
Let the bonds of affection, therefore, unite us with our brothers and sisters.
Unite us with our brothers
and sisters.
That peace and happiness may dwell in thy Father's house.
That peace and happiness may dwell in our Father's house.
And when ye separate in the world,
when
we separate in the world,
remember the relation that bindeth you to love and unity.
Remember the relation that bindeth us to love and unity.
And prefer not a stranger before thine own our blood.
And prefer not a stranger before
our own blood.
If thy brothers in adversity, assist them.
If our brothers in adversity, assist him.
If our sister is in trouble, forsake her not.
If our sister is in trouble, forsake her not.
So shall the fortunes of our fathers.
So shall the fortunes
of our fathers
contribute to the support of his whole race.
Contribute to the support of his
whole race.
And his care be continued to you all.
And his care be continued
to us all.
And your love to each other.
and our love to each other.
To all is able, we will face the east. Five fingers in your left hand, 2 fingers on your right. Arms in a perpendicular ladder. Feet together at a 45-degree angle. You can repeat after me. Islam, Allah, the Father, the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through His holy prophet, through Ali, Amen, peace. Go in peace, folks.